Okay, today's facial feature that we're going to make is the mouth. This is the large plaster mouth that I want to show you. So when we start to build up the form, we're going to build up, think of your skull, where your skull would be, the muscle mass that's here. We will add this part, I don't know all the anatomy, the names for it, the lip forms, and do some additive sculpture and some subtractive sculpture when we start to build our forms. Okay, that's really big. We're not going to make it that big. On the slideshow, you can find this tutorial, which is super helpful, especially this one. I don't know why it's there. I guess they started showing the finished one and then this one. This really helps you show you the parts of it as you start to build it and step by step. So you guys can find this on the slideshow that's in Schoology. Okay, so the very first thing is you take your last block. Okay, so the mouth is the last one. We're going to take our last block of clay, and what you're going to do is you're going to just take that leather hard block and smooth it. It's harder to do if the clay wasn't leather hard. The directions for how to make them leather hard are on Schoology in a video form too. So smooth all the corners, okay, and get rid of any little clay boogers. Doesn't have to be perfect, just not sharp. All right. Now, it's still helpful to take your stick or a pencil and to lightly draw the basic form. This will be a little smaller than a mouth, a human mouth, okay? So I'm going to draw that basic form. You can look at your sketch. You can look at your own mouth and your phone. So I'm going to draw that basic form, and instead of doing the base round, it's kind of flat here. The pencil mark will burn away. Any indents will stay, right, unless you smooth them out. You can just make a generic mouth. This is kind of more female-like, so it's your choice. Then I like to draw, like Jessica Hopper did in the video we watched, the little divot right here. So the top lip is smaller than the bottom lip, and then the connecting lines. If you really want to challenge, you can draw teeth. So the bottom lip is a little wide, so I'm going to erase that by smoothing it. Don't worry, the pencil will burn out, and redraw that. So you might have to edit too. That's just part of doing stuff. Editing. That's a better size. Now I'm not done. Okay. So I'm going to do additive first and then subtractive. Okay? So I'm going to build up around it before I start to do the actual lips. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of soft clay and roll a basic coil of it. Okay, and one for each side. I know it looks like a lot, but I'm going to cut some away. So they're kind of like little teeny sausages. And then I need my slip. When you guys come back to school, if you're hybrid, you don't need to bring your slip. We'll make new slip. Okay, and your scoring tool. Always slip and score, especially because you're adding wet clay to leather hard clay. Now, if they're too big, I really like this tool to trim off, and then I put my scrap in my slip, or you can put it in your scrap bag. Okay, so I need to score and slip. It's like a mustache, the top part. And then I'm going to score and slip this piece. I know it looks like it's big. Okay, now I'm going to attach those and press them and attach. So it's score, slip, attach, smooth. I'm not super worried about the underneath part yet. Okay, and then this center part, I'm just going to use the side of my thumb and kind of start to press down where that little divot is. So I'm building around the form first. I got to push it up a little so I can see where the lip is. So it's a little thick, but when it firms up a little bit, I can come in with my needle tool and build that up. So a little bit of water on your finger, not a lot, or thumb, will help make that shape. And it is helpful to have a picture near you. Okay, so this is not the actual mouth part, this is above your mouth. Okay, and then for where your chin is below your mouth, that is going to be kind of a ball of clay. So a little bit bigger ball. And remember to always score and slip. Okay, so I start with the ball. I'm going to get my fingers wet a little, and I'm going to press down. This is going to be underneath your mouth, the start of your chin. So a little bit of slip or water on your fingers will help you with that form. So I know it's like we're doing the opposite. We're not doing the mouth part first. If it's a little tall, again, this will really work well for cutting. And then a little bit of water, not a lot, will help you smooth out some of that. And you can come back and carve it if it's too tall. Okay, now for the actual lips. So I'm going to take and roll a coil for the top lip. I'm going to score and slip the best I can get in there. I'm going to roll a coil. It's longer than I need it. I'm going to pinch a little extra off. Okay. I'm going to try to make it pretty even. It's easier to do in your hands. Okay. And then I'm going to begin to make that little divot in it. When I took drawing in high school, or middle school actually, my teacher called it the McDonald M, but it's a lot stretched out, more stretched out. I know it looks a little cartoon-like, but that's the start. So the bottom lip is a little fatter, bigger, but it's shorter. So I roll a fat coil. Oops, I bumped the document camera building. So I'm going to then trim a little off there and slip and score. If you can't get your scoring tool in there, you can get in there with your stick and score and slip. All right, so the bottom part of the lip is going to go in next. Now the clay's pretty soft, so I can kind of smear it a little bit. So a little bit of water. All right, now I want to attach the lip to the base where my chin will be. You can use your finger or you can score it. That always helps to use your scoring tool and then smooth it later. So I will carve some of this top part away so you can see where the mouth is a little bit better. But right now I'm just making sure that it is well attached. So again, a little bit of liquid from the slip bucket. And then you can, if the clay's really soft, you can kind of press down, or you can take your loop tool and carve away. So it's better if it's more leather hard. So I'm going to come back to this when it's leather hard and do a little more carving, because it's hard to carve with a loop tool when it's wet. Not impossible, but it's a lot easier to carve away when it's leather hard. So it's a lot of adjusting. The ear is hard, but the mouth is probably the hardest one. That's why we did that last. Okay, and then a little bit of liquid underneath here. So you can decide how you want the mouth to go. My mouth naturally turns down. You don't have to do your own mouth. Okay, so I'm going to come in with a little bit more clay on each side, and it's super soft, so I'm not going to worry about slipping and scoring right now. And I'm just going to build up that lip form again so it looks a little more realistic. So it's a little hard to tell in the video because it's such a quick angle when you're starting to build up the forms of the mouth. So I'm going to add a little bit more clay here. I need some more around this part. So you can use little coils or just little pieces of clay to build up the lip form. And it will start to come into play. Don't forget the little divot on the top. Now I need to come back to this when it's more leather hard so that I can start to carve away some of this stuff underneath and around it better, because it's really not easy to do when it's wet like this. So I'm going to let this sit a little bit, and then I'll come back in and carve away some of the leather hard parts of it. Also, I noticed that this part of the mouth needs a little bit of weight. So I'm going to just continue to add small little pieces as I build it up to create that form. So that's right underneath the little divot. That part of your lip is thicker. Have you ever gotten a fat lip? Have you ever fallen off your bike or anything? That part's the part that gets all puffy. So you just have to continue to build that form to get it how you'd like it to be. Basically, you can find this on there. You build up the shapes around it and then build up the form. So I'm not super happy with some of this. So when it's leather hard, I'm going to come back and carve some of it away. This is the mostly additive stage. Okay, when you are done, just double check that there aren't any clay boogers or sharp things, and take your stick and write your name on the back and your class shape. And then you're gonna, you guys at the heart, 8th hour's the circle. Then you're gonna put it in your Ziploc, and you're gonna bring all 4 pieces to school. They can all be in the same Ziploc if you're careful, or in 4 different ones. And then we are going to bisque fire them, and then you guys get to glaze them however you want. They don't have to be human colors. So you will then do that. Don't forget to upload a picture of this. So slide 8 was the eye and the ear in your digital notebook, and slide 8 is the eye and the nose in your digital notebook, and then slide 10 is your ear and your mouth. Okay, guys, we will see you, share your digital notebook with these pictures with me by this weekend, and I'll see most of you next week.